Hey, it's time to bring back the podcast, and it's been a while since I did a video, but I've been thinking a lot about it recently, and I took kind of like a time off. Not really a time off because I just wanted to be away from the podcast, but I was really focused on some other things. And finally, I've had a chance to like come back and think about why I'm doing the podcast. And that's a bit of the topic of today's video. It's like, what is the purpose that I should be having for like my life right now? And it's like I think it's an interesting topic for especially a lot of young people, and particularly relevant to me right now in my life. I've been thinking about it a lot, especially the last few days. I went on a journey of like how to be more present in my life, and I think I'll talk about that maybe in another video and probably a bit on my newsletter. And then it came into this topic of like, okay, now that I have time for myself, because I sort of finished university, what am I supposed to do? And I think one of the interesting things with purpose is like, at least the battle in my head has always been, is there something like right and wrong, whether, relative to the idea of what I should be doing? Is there something that I should be doing as in this is the right thing to do right now? Jason, okay, you should be doing ... or not, or is it you do whatever you fancy, or like whatever you would like to do in your life? Like, what is it supposed to be? And I guess today's like video is a little bit more of a question than necessarily having an answer for whoever's watching. And I actually would like to hear from other people because like what are we supposed to do? It's so easy because I've even read a few books, a few articles recently that were like, oh, it's about you identifying what you like most and what you wake up and think about doing. And it's like, okay, that's very simple, but it's not always so clear. Like, oh, I'd like to do a podcast, but I might be just me saying I like to do it doesn't mean it's my purpose. Or do I choose something to be my purpose? Do I say, okay, I want this to be my purpose, and then chase it? But then at the same time, if that purpose is not like a long-term purpose, at some point I'm going to give it up, right? Like, there's going to be a point at which the hardships are going to kick in, or the difficulties are going to come your way, and then you're just going to be like, well, do I really want to fight for this? And is that something that you determine beforehand? Or is that something that you find out during the journey? Is it when you get to those difficulties that you find out, okay, this is my purpose after all, and it's just a question of trying and failing? So I'm going to try this. Okay, rough times came around. I didn't want to follow it. Therefore, it is not my purpose. And it's like a process of elimination. And, okay, you're young, explore as much as you want to, or is it something that you can identify earlier? And I guess that's my search. Is it a search for knowledge? Is it a search for purpose in a sense? But is there like a definite method? Is it like I'm supposed to know through meditation or through self-reflection, as much of it as I already do? Am I supposed to know this is what's going to drive me for the rest of my life, or drive me for the next 5 years? And yeah, that's been a bit of my thought process recently. And then just leading into a question of doing, which is why I'm doing the video today. It's kind of just like, well, why not? What's the worst thing that can happen is you like maybe create another video that you don't use or just doesn't get seen, or what? Because you can have a lot of bright ideas in your mind, and if you think about them and you build them up in your mind, and it's like, okay, what does it take to get there? Am I really willing to do everything that it takes to get there? And so that's a bit of my question right now. I think that's the discussion I'm going through. So I'd love to hear, like, if anybody does watch this video, does make it to this part. Hopefully somebody does. I would like that very much. Just say something in the comments, or respond, or give their input. Or the worst case be that it just activates somebody's process of self-reflection, which is what I was going through this morning when I woke up. I was just like, because I put this idea in my mind, and I was like, today I want to have the best day possible, or be the best I can, or be the best version of myself. And that led into the question, well then, if I'm trying to have the best day possible, what are the objectives I should be striving for? Because best is a relative term, and it depends on a person. Sure, I can have a best day in the sense, oh, I'm really productive, but productivity leads to a certain goal, certain objective. I was even listening to this on an audiobook yesterday. It was like, productivity is maximized, and it's pushed to its full capacity when we have a purpose in mind. So if my objective is to have the best day possible, to be the most productive, there has to be a purpose. Or even reading, in a sense. Reading, in a sense, fulfills my quest for more knowledge, for more information. But is that the purpose? Is my purpose more knowledge? And so is doing the podcast fulfilling that? Or is that just a vain concept I have in my mind? And so I think that was the interesting question I was struggling with this morning. I thought, okay, well, I should just talk about it, put it on the podcast, see what people have to say, and interact a little bit with that idea. And that's ultimately what I want to do with the podcast, is it being a place of insight and discussions for the future. I'm not sure I have too much more to add to that. I'd appreciate any comments or criticisms or feedback on the video or anything. I just want to get better. I want to learn. I want to know if this makes sense to do, if this podcast and sharing these ideas is relevant to somebody, because I do want to, not only through my personal journey, understanding what it means to grow up and be a young adult and determine such things as purpose in life and definite aims, etc. But also I want to help other people. So for me, the idea of building a podcast, in a sense, the purpose of it, ironically, would be to help others and like activate and stimulate other people and their processes of self-reflection and self-awareness and development and self-growth. I think that's something that would be interesting to me, is like seeing people being caught up and being confused and being like, what do I need to do in life? And then being able to say, look, I can help you to a certain extent. I can't find your purpose in life for you, but here's what helped me. I started reading books. I, allowed myself to be bored. In so doing, activate my brain and activate my mental processes of self-reflection, of self-awareness, and that would help me in future experiences to reach whatever goals that I had in mind. And I think that would be ideal for the podcast. But we're going a little bit off topic, and that's something I need to get better on, but I think that's what I have to say for now. So yeah, thank you for tuning in. Obviously, I'd love if whoever watches, especially to this point, likes and subscribes, just because I think it would be good to build a following and good to have feedback from other people too. So yeah, thank you very much.